doing a 30-minute pigeon-based vinyasa flow. So kind of hamstring stretching, hip opening, a little bit of hip flexor work. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we're going to have time for in 30 minutes. So 2 blocks and a strap, basic equipment. We'll start down on our mats, work with the legs and the back line of the body a little bit, and let's get going. So first of all, as you make your way down onto your mat, have a little shuffle. Make sure that you're in a fairly straight line and you're comfortable. And then wherever you have your feet with your legs bent, I want you to lift the bum up just a little bit. Feel like you're scooping the bum under and then placing the lower back down onto the mat. Shoulders relax. Start taking a few deep breaths and starting to have this gentle little rock through the back, through this lower back where you're reducing the arch and you're gently just pressing the lower back down into the mat. You should get to a point where you really feel like you're almost straightening through the back, and you can shuffle the shoulders forwards a little bit and you get this little feeling of a spinal extension. Once you've wiggled into that space, take a couple of deep breaths here. And then you can start to sway the legs from left to right. We're going to keep the lower back down on the mat, so it's really little movements through the knees from left to right. Should get a really nice relaxing feeling through the lower back here. And really remembering this kind of pelvic tilt. So we're not in neutral, we're really kind of tipping the bowl to get that lower arch out. And then what we can do is wiggle your feet out to the width of your mat if they're not so already. And start to take the knees a little bit further from left to right. Keeping the hips pretty much in at the space they were just in. You'll notice that the back leg, that glute will lift up. And that's just natural, that's the way our bodies are designed, that's fine. If you've got tight legs, really tight quads or thighs, as the legs go over to the left, with that right leg, squeeze the glute, little hip thrust forwards. You should feel a deeper stretch come from the hip to the knee. And vice versa on the opposite side. Squeeze the glute, little hip thrust, feel that stretch come deeper through the front of the leg. So maybe you start to feel this stretch coming up through the hips towards the waist now. Bring the knees back to center, hug the knees into your chest. Let's have a roll around in little circles over the sacrum. And again, thinking about that arch in your lower back. If you can see, there's this very small gap as my knees go forwards, my lower back lifts up. That sort of movement is completely fine. You don't have to smash the back down onto the mat. It's if you take the knees forwards and you can feel your upper back move, and there's this pulling sensation coming from around the back of the bra strap, that sort of area. That's what you really want to avoid. So it's this awareness of your TVA, your transverse abdominals, which are the 4 groups of muscles that make up your core, and everything squeezing into the midline of your body is going to really help that awareness of activation, and also that is the correct cue to activate the core. Take these circles round in the opposite direction. Back to center. Place the left foot down. This right leg is going to come into a figure of 4. We'll start off keeping the foot down. You can have a little sway from left to right. That can be a really nice movement to help bring in a little bit more space if it feels tight. If it feels okay, come back to stillness, let that movement go, and play with pointing and flexing through the right foot. So one of these should probably feel a little bit better than the other. Whether you're moving or wiggling that ankle, come to stillness, lift the left leg up, hold on to the back of the thigh. Pull the thigh in towards your chest. Press this outside edge of your ankle into the thigh. Now make sure it's low down so it's not in the knee joint. Use the elbows to bend rather than the shoulders lifting towards the ears. And you should feel this nice deep stretch come through the inner thigh. And maybe, especially if you're a bit tight, coming round the back of the leg, maybe even into the glute. Just take 5 deep breaths here. And to intensify, you can always make this left calf parallel with the mat and almost driving the leg towards your chest. Nice. From here, take the right hand to the outside edge of that right foot. Left leg can come down. We'll come to a half happy baby. And the left leg can stay bent. It can fall out to the side, which might make you a bit more comfortable, or you can straighten it out. Nice. Try and get the sole of the foot facing towards the ceiling. Left hand on the top of your left thigh. Just to help stop that feeling that you're going to roll over to the right side. Nice. We're going to gently release the foot. Bring the knee back to center. Hold on to the back of the right thigh. And flex through the foot, straightening your leg as much as you can. Bend at the elbows, find how much you can pull this leg in towards your chest. And then we'll do a little bit of dynamic movement, a bit of flossing through the back of the leg. So bending the foot. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. And as you extend, you'll feel the leg try and push back. You're going to try and keep it in the place that it's at. And you will feel the hamstring activate and push back. It's a bit weird, but it's very normal. Only if the hamstring starts to cramp do you need to ease off a little bit. Yes, one more. And bend the right leg. Ooh, it's on fire. Left foot across and come into your figure of 4. So again, whichever one feels a little bit better, a little bit of movement can really help if around the sides of the hip is quite tight, to just create a little bit of a gentle stretch. Or if this feels fine, coming back to center and just wiggling through the ankle. And this one's really good if you're a runner or you wear a lot of heels and you basically just have a lot of tightness through the front of the ankle and the back. Let's flex this foot, lift the right leg up, hold on to the back of the leg, pull that right leg in towards your chest, press that ankle into the thigh, feel that left knee move back a little bit of activation, and if you want you can flex through this right foot and try and make a nice 90-degree angle with the leg. So stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release the right leg down. Take your left hand to the outside edge of your foot. Let's do a little half happy baby. Get that right leg comfortable. Ooh, flex through that left foot, sole of the foot to the ceiling. And right hand on the top of the right thigh for a little bit of grounding. gently release. And you can let this foot go down. Nice, from here, hug both knees into your chest. Have a little rock from left to right. And have a little rock and roll backwards and forwards. And let's see if we can do a little squat and reach. Tuck those feet under, lift the bum up. Oh, gently lower it down, go again. Nice, and you can always use your hands. So as you roll forwards, you can press the hands down to give you that little boost up. And you can see if you can lift your hips and push the knees out. You're going to feel all sorts of things come through the inner thighs, through the inner hips. Not guaranteeing it always feels amazing, but you feel it. Nice, from here, hands down. Let's start to walk ourselves back, come into a down dog. Pedal through the legs. Have little wiggles through the hips. Again, think of this as a warm-up. And you just wiggle around, finding what feels good, following your intuition, and getting as funky as you like. Start to walk your hands to your feet to the back of your mat. Inhale, slowly round up through your spine. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Grab hold of your blocks again. Bringing them down onto your level 3 height, peace fingers on the blocks, index finger and little finger on the side, thumb on the other side. It's just so you have nice safe alignment for your wrists. So imagine that you're in a tabletop position, but you're standing, so you're still trying to get wrists fairly under shoulders, a bit further forwards to help with your stability is fine, and hips kind of over the ankles. From here we're going to step the right foot forwards and towards the centre a little bit. Left leg is going to go back. So it's kind of like you're in a 3-legged dog, but you're using the blocks. Now let's square off the hips. Flex through that left foot, big toes point down to the floor, feel it in this glute. Point the toes, open the hips, over to the left. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. And point and stack. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the left leg come down. Left foot into the centre, right leg extends back. Flex that foot. And as always, when you have any damage in the knees, little bend is perfectly fine. And let's point and stack. Whew. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. Point and stack. Flex and square. And point and stack. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the right leg down. Feet together. Inhale, round up through your spine. And shoulders down and back. Nice. Okay, now this one gets a little bit more challenging. So, if you're really tight today, or your flexibility in your forward folds is something that you're working on, but you might not have complete faith in yourself yet, you can always use a wall. So imagine there's a wall here and you can use your hands against it, or go over, find a little surface. So we're going to bring the right foot up into a figure of 4, and if you were using a wall, you could press against it, or kind of just hold on to the back of a sofa or something of a reasonable height. As you come into this position, I want you to push the hips back until you start to feel this deep stretch around the outside edge of the right thigh coming into the glute. Nice. Now bending into the standing leg. The more we bend, the more we can push back. If you can come down to your blocks, great. If not, this is where you're going to use your sofa, a chair or a wall. Nice, flex through that foot, have a little wiggle. And nice deep breaths. Think about breathing into that right leg. Nice, inhale, start to come up and release. Nice, so let's come over to the other side. Either just setting yourself up, don't worry about making it a bit yoga flowy. If you have the balance, then it's quite enjoyable. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, figure of four. Bend into that standing leg, lower down, stick the hips back. Start to feel all around the here, stretch out. Take the hands down to the block if you can. And then you'll probably notice that one side is a bit different to the other. Again, we are very wonky. Oh. So just deep breaths, breathe through that stiffness. So see, inhale, start to lift up. And exhale, release. As I step it out into a wide angle forward fold. So move your blocks out of the way. Use them, of course, if you want to. Big toes in, heels out. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reach up. Exhale, push the hips back and take the hands forwards. Really kind of hold on to the floor or your blocks. Really push the hips back so that your fingertips are almost dragging backwards. And this is going to give you almost this feeling that you're in a stretch machine through the back. And then the heavier you make your bum, almost so you feel like you're going to fall back onto your bum, the more you should start to feel the stretch come through the glutes. That's what we're looking for. A little bit of glute into the side thigh. Because that area is where your piriformis muscle sits. The sciatic nerves come through there, the IT band comes through there, and the glutes as well. All of these are just really stiff, hard to release places. Okay, from here let's walk around towards the front of the mat. Slide this right leg back into a down dog. Have a little wiggle around here for 3, 2, 1. Start to walk your hands to your feet to the back of your mat. Inhale, rounding up through your spine. Exhale, down and back. So we're going to come back into this figure of four position. And again, have your blocks, sofa, chair, or whatever, handy in case you feel like you need it for your balance. Bringing that right leg back into your figure of four position. Starting to bend into your standing leg as you push the hips back to hinge forwards. Now what we're going to do is, the first time we did this, we flexed through the foot, and that gave us a nice little bit of activation. This time, you can either take your right hand down or anywhere for support. Your left hand is going to come onto the sole of your right foot. Now, the hand is going to push into the foot, the foot is going to push into the hand. So you create this internal push-pull. And as soon as you start to do it, you should feel this inner part of your hip come down to your knee, just light up with activation all of a sudden. You can always use the right hand on the top of the thigh to help give that little push. It does test your balance a little bit more. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, release. Nice. Let's come to the other side. So, inhale, left side lifts up. Exhale, figure of 4. Make sure you've got a nice placement here. Find your drishti, find your gazing spot, that one thing you look at that doesn't move. Hands onto the sole of the foot. Press into each other to activate. And if you really want to, you can always play with squeezing through that left glute and seeing how that feels. So we'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, release down. Nice. From here, move the blocks towards the front of your mat. We can step back to the back. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, walk your hands forwards, find your down dog. From here, right leg goes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forwards. Direct that knee over to the right wrist, let the leg come down. Shimmy that left leg back into your pigeon pose. And then take the blocks, walk your hands back, and start thinking right knee to left hip. What we're going to do is as we inhale, we're going to press into the blocks. We're going to squeeze the knee and the hip together to activate. Exhale, release down. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Move the blocks over to the side. Start to walk your hands forwards. Bring your forehead down. Or be resting on your forearms or on your hands. Depends on how the posture feels. Nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage. Feel that expansion with your breath. And start to push your hands back up. Using the blocks or no blocks, depends on how it feels. See if you can bend into that left leg. If this hurt in the lizard lunge, then probably not advisable to do it in pigeon. You can always take your hand or use a block to give you a bit of extension, only if it's comfortable for the knee. You can either hold on to the foot, you can kick. If you kick the foot back away from you, you start to feel the stretch come up through your core and a little bit of a back bend through the left side. So that can be a really nice sensation. And you can use that if you're working on lifting up through the right hand and finding that balance. Flex through the right foot and flex through the toes. That's going to help you. Option 2 is bending and pulling the heel of the foot towards the glute. This is a really deep stretch coming from the hip flexor through the quad into the knee. And if you get here and you find it comfortable, you can slide the toes in towards the inside of the elbow. Again, flex through those right toes. Start by reaching the fingers forward, see how you feel. Squeeze that right glute. Reach the fingers up. And only if it's comfortable, bend at the elbow. And you can get your fingertips to touch. Stay wherever you're at for another 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Move the blocks out of your way. You can tuck the left toes under, bring those a little bit forwards. So it's nice and easy to just push back into your down dog. Have a little pedal through your legs. And side inhale, left leg goes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Point the knee over to the left wrist and start working your way back into your pigeon. Take hold of the blocks again for a bit of active versus passive. So, other side, left knee to that right hip. Inhale, squeeze and activate, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, release. Inhale, activate. Exhale, release. Inhale, activate. Exhale, release. Inhale, activate. Exhale, release. And inhale, engage. Exhale, release. As if you're using the blocks or moving them over to your side, start to walk your arms forwards, bringing the head down. Nice deep breaths into the back of your rib cage. Starting to lift your head, walk yourself back up. And again, if you want to take a block for the left hand, then you can. Flex through those left toes, bend into the right leg if it's comfortable for the knee. Take your hand to your foot, and you can play with kicking that foot back. And this is going to be a really nice, this is quite a fun balance challenge actually, when you kind of want beginner to intermediate balance challenge. Because the more you kick the foot, the more your body leans back. And you have to really trust yourself to lean forwards, because sometimes you feel like you're going to throw yourself forwards as well. So always keep a playful attitude with that one. Other option, heel towards your glute. Finding the level of engagement you're happy with. And you find that once you've pulled your foot enough, it's quite easy to slide the toes into the inside of the elbow, and it's actually easier than holding on because of the position that your shoulder ends up in. It's just you're sliding the foot through the forearm into that elbow. And you can come up, you can have a catch. Let's stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. We're going to roll over onto that left glute, swing your right leg around. Have your legs out in front of you, give them a little shake. And you can have your feet wide, you can have them together, whatever feels more comfortable. If the legs feel a little bit stressed after the pigeon, you can slide the blocks underneath the backs of the thighs, and that will give you a nice little bit of relief. From here, inhale, fingers to ceiling, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Thinking inhale to find length. Exhale, shoulder blades come down your back. Inhale for length. Exhale, relaxing down. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, releasing down. Come to lie down onto your back for a moment. Take these blocks and put them under the backs of your thighs. Think about the pelvic tilt, lift up, tuck under, lower back down. And make sure that your shoulders are comfortable. Taking just a few minutes, letting the energy settle through the legs, through the hips. Roll your wrists and your ankles around in circles one way and in circles the other way. Stretch your arms behind your head. Full body stretch. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock from left to right. Roll over over to one side and push yourself up and into a comfortable seated position. Roll your shoulders down your back a few times. And inhale, fingers to ceiling, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in to chant Om. I thank you for your time and your energy today. Namah Shivaya. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that practice and that your hips feel a little bit better than they did when we started, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.